Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Sandra and I'm a Digital Marketing Associate at CanadaHelps. So our webinar today is actually going to be led by Jacob O'Connor, who is our Charity Success Manager at CanadaHelps. And we will also be joined by Paul Nazareth, who's our VP of Community Engagement here at CanadaHelps. For those of you who are new to CanadaHelps, CanadaHelps is a social enterprise focused on helping charities. We provide charities with open access to our affordable online fundraising platform and training so that they can better connect with the people who support them. And for donors, we offer a one-stop shop for donating and fundraising for any registered Canadian charity online. Since 2000, over 1.5 million Canadians have donated through CanadaHelps, and together we've raised over $800 million in donations. Now I'm going to pass the mic over to Jacob, who will take us through this walkthrough and webinar.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. So my name is Jacob, and thank you Sandra for the introduction and getting everyone ready to go. So as Sandra mentioned, I'm the Charity Success Manager here at CanadaHelps. What does that mean? Basically, I'm lucky enough that every day I get to come to work and help charities of all shapes and sizes reach their goals online, whatever they are. So I'm blessed to have that opportunity, and I'm blessed to be here with you guys today. So last week, if you may have been with us, I know there's a couple people that were here last week that were letting me know they're going to be here this week. It was kind of an introduction to CanadaHelps.org and ways to attract donors. And this was kind of a more of a, you're brand new to CanadaHelps, you're fresh, how do we take advantage of those opportunities? So we went over, it was the 7 ways that you can attract new donors at CanadaHelps, and how to optimize your presence with CanadaHelps. So we went over 7, and I showed this slide last week as well. But you see, out of those 7, the more opportunities you're taking advantage of through CanadaHelps, the more you're raising. The data proves this. So we see for those charities that are taking advantage of 4 or more of those opportunities that we spoke about last week, they're raising 11 times more through CanadaHelps. So if you weren't with us last week, and this is the same with all of our webinars, and basically all of our info that would be super relatable to you as a charity, you can find that all at Charity Life on the CanadaHelps website. The URL is there. I think Sandra might be pinging it out to you guys. So you can take that and I would even bookmark that on your browser so you can stay up to date. I know we get inundated by emails, so this is just an easy way for you to check and see what's new, what did I miss, and then so Sandra said we'll be sending along those slides, but you can come here as well. And so if you weren't able to attend last week, previous weeks, and even for this webinar coming up, you can go check out Charity Life and watch the presentation live or download those slides. So we give you both of those opportunities there. So today, what we're going to be talking about, we're really just going to be getting hands-on with our tools, and kind of in the light of the holiday season coming up and what that means for charities. We're going to be getting hands-on. It's going to be more of a demo style, so we're going to be getting right into the charity account and seeing how all of our tools work, and just kind of going over some super cool things that'll help for this upcoming season that we're actually already kind of in the midst of, really. Before we get into that, though, I just wanted to share, and we've been sharing this, but continue to do so because there's a lot of value here. But we have this free holiday fundraising guide that we're sharing with you. There's a short link there. Sandra might be pinging it out as well. But again, we're going to be providing these slides. You can get there after the fact as well. So make sure you download that and take a look. All right, so let's get right to it. So I'm going to exit out of these slides. We're going to get right into a charity account. Cool. So the charity account. And before we start, just wanted to say one thing. So we're going to be looking at the Donate Now and events primarily, and different ways we can use them in light of the holidays and how to kind of give us a lift in this December season coming up. Those two kind of options, those two parts of the charity account are only available to people with the full fundraising account. So if you're logging in on your side and you're saying, hey, I can't find this, I don't have a Donate Now tab, or I don't have an Events tab. So what you would have to do in that case is just complete the free upgrade to the full fundraising account. So this account I'm in right now is full fundraising, but if you're in a basic account, basically all you would have to do is scroll to the bottom. Right underneath here, where all of your options are, there would be a button listed, and it says, want to upgrade to your full fundraising account? Click here. So you would just click on that button and you can complete the upgrade that way. Awesome. So I want to see, we're looking at this charity account here. Does anything look new to you? Maybe you noticed it already, maybe you've been signing in, but and you've seen it already, but I'm going to take your attention over here, over to this Get Answers button at the bottom. So this is brand new. We're super excited about this over here. So this is the new Charity Help portal. I'm going to open it up. So anytime from your charity account, you can click on that button and access this help portal. So basically what we've done is we've looked at the most frequently asked questions that are coming in on the calls and through email, and we've done our best to communicate the answers and the solutions to those questions here. It's broken down by section. You can go in by each question, and you're able to judge whether was this article helpful or not. So please, there's so much information here, so much that you could kind of help yourself with. Let us know if it was helpful, and it will help us to keep on improving this. And any questions that you're typing in, we're going to also keep that on file so we can see the trends of where maybe we're lacking as we move forward, and we can bring those questions into place. So type your questions, give feedback. We're so excited for this tool, and we're looking forward to see how it could help you guys as charities. Cool. So we're going to start in this Donate Now section of the Canada Helps account. I'm going to take a step back here for a sec and just kind of talk about, so coming up to holiday, we want to make an amazing experience for our donors who are coming and choosing to give to us. We want to make this seamless. We want to customize this for them and steward them appropriately. For a long time, so Canada Helps has been around for 17 years now, and for a long time, as you know or may not know, it was largely the CanadaHelps.org website through which donors can come and give to any charity in Canada. But then it was the button. So we were the Canada Helps button. So as a charity, your tool was to use that button to bring a donor to your CanadaHelps.org profile to then go ahead, maybe learn a little bit more about the charity and complete a donation. Over the past 3-4 years, we've released a lot of tools. And I know everyone is busy. You guys are doing such great work. You don't always have time or the capacity to check it out. So I just wanted to, before we started, just point a couple things that have been around for a little bit, but we still see a lot of that old button pointing to the profile page. So we now have customizable donation forms. Again, not brand new as a whole, but wanted to point this out to you. So we're going to skip over here. We saw this help portal, and I've just pointed this out for you for those that are going to be downloading the slides. So here we go. So switch to our newest and most efficient technology as we approach year end. So that typical button versus our new customizable donation forms. So in our tests, these new customizable donation forms generate 70% more in donation dollars. So visitors are giving 22% more, 35% more visitors donate, for a total of 70% growth in donations. On top of that, with the customizable donation form, you're able to customize the thank you message. So when it goes through CanadaHelps.org, someone completes a donation, that's a Canada Helps thank you with a Canada Helps logo. When it goes through customizable donation form, you're able to customize that thank you message to your donor and have your logo in that email address. It's your email. As well, when it goes through the customizable donation form, the tax receipt is branded with your logo. You can direct them to a custom thank you landing page. There's e-commerce tracking. We're going to get into all of this as well. And all of this can occur on your own website. So again, we still have a lot of people linking to the profile, and at the end of the day, how you want your donation process to go is it's up to you. But I just wanted to kind of familiarize you guys with these numbers and with these differences, so you're well informed to make your decision on how you want your own donation process to go coming into this season. And on that note, talking about all of the new stuff that we've been coming out with over the years, just brand new, and we're going to look at this today, but just released yesterday, our new MultiStep Forms. These are beautiful. You could take a look here. It gives you a chance to feature a large image, or here we got a majestic kind of backdrop. But this was by popular demand. A lot of charities looking for that stepped form. So again, we're going to look into this a little bit more, but it breaks the donation process into digestible bites, where they're first dealing with donation details, then donor and tax receipt information, and then lastly payment information. So there's no reloading the page. It all occurs on there. It just brings them on to that next step of the process. And again, we're super excited about these. Okay. So we got some backstory. We know what we're talking about. We're going to come in and get right to it. So customizable donation forms, how you're accepting your donations this holiday season. So no matter what, all of you guys with a full fundraising account, when you come to this Donate Now section of your website, you're going to have one default form already there, ready to go and created for you. So if you wanted, you can create a new form, but just as well, you can go to that. We got a little bit more than one here because we've been doing some testing and stuff in our account, but you can just go and work from that form. So we're going to edit that form. So that's what we're going to do here today. So I'm going to, cool. So this is where you would edit everything for your custom donation form. I'm just going to point out a few things that would be really of interest to you. So form name at the top. It seems straightforward, but it actually has some implications for you, especially in your tracking. So let's say right now we've called this CanadaHelps donation form. But let's call this CanadaHelps holiday appeal. Why I'm bringing this up and why this matters is that you can have multiple forms through your charity account. And you can create multiple pages. So let's say for this holiday appeal, you're creating a custom donation form specific to, and let's even call it a director's holiday appeal. So your board of directors are really wanting to raise some money for you this holiday season. You can create your own custom form, and this form name will decide how that form and the data is shown up when you do your data download. So every time a donation comes in, you're able to distinguish exactly where this donation came from. And this makes a major difference if we're trying to, for instance, what you could do is you can test the efficiency or the success of a direct mail campaign or an email campaign. So you can send out 1,000 direct mail, 100 email, have the emails going to a form named something specifically. So CanadaHelps email campaign, and then you can direct the direct mail to another campaign, CanadaHelps direct mail. From those 1,000 and from that 100, you could see how did you convert, how much did people donate. So this is just this form name, very powerful for you and your tracking. The next one here, and this is brand new, we can choose multi-step form or full form. So we'll just take a quick look. And any time here, we can scroll to the bottom. We're going to hit Save and View. So again, here is the multi-step form. Beautiful. You see a lot more white space. And then it's broken down into 3 steps. So I'm going to hit Next. Already preloaded my information here for you. You could come visit me. So the second step and then third step with the payment information to complete those details. What I like to do when I'm creating one of these forms is I'll click Save and View and have this preview up, and then any changes I'm making here, I can quickly just come over and click a refresh and see those updates live. So any changes you're making through this part of the account, you can see those updates live. So that was the multi-step form. So now we're just going to do the full form, and I'm going to hit Save, and to see those updates, there's the full form. So changes for you live. Then we're just going to go through a few other things. So through this backend, we're able to customize a whole bunch. So you could preset a fund, and that's the same way. If you wanted to preset for a certain appeal that you're running or a certain campaign, you can preset the fund so the donors don't even have to choose. It's branded, and then that comes up in your tracking. You could put a fundraising bar, as we just saw. You can choose if you want it to be defaulted for one-time monthly donations, set a redirect URL for your thank you, and then decide if you want to be able to designate the donation in honor and memory of someone. The next important thing we're going to want to look at here, and this is probably one of the main things, and especially when we're talking about impact recently, is the suggested. So this is once a donor completes a donation, they're instantly getting that tax receipt from CanadaHelps. And this is just where you add that ability to add your own custom thank you, a nice stewardship touch here. And then brand form. So here's where you would select the colors on the form. So you have the donation. So we have that blue, that title bar background, the buttons and links, the nice accent, the text, and then the background color. That's all there. And then we have the options between the linked page and the embedded page. We're going to get into those in a sec. But basically, there are different options when you're looking at a linked page or an embedded page. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then here we have the ability to add e-cards. And you could actually add in your own custom e-cards, but this just gives your donor the ability, they're making a donation in memory or in honor of someone, they can choose an e-card. We have pre-selected CanadaHelps e-cards. You could upload your own beautiful image. We have the Coochiching Conservancy that I know uploads beautiful images of their space. You could select those and send them along. And then here we have where you can add your Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager account numbers. And this is great for that tracking that we were talking about previously. And on that note, I just wanted to point you guys, we do have a guide for this. It's really, really amazing. We got Jason Shim actually helped this to put this together. And it's very comprehensive, simple language, real step-by-step guide. Here's the link again. Sandra's going to put that out there. But again, download this after. Take a look. If you're looking to take that next step into tracking, this will help you massively. Awesome. So we're going to get back to the account now. So we went through, this is the back end of the Donate Now form, and now we're just going to talk about some applications. So when you're thinking about your website and how you want to accept those donations, so basically an embedded form looks just like this. So this is the Calgary Library's website. And as we scroll through to make a donation, this donation page lives directly on their website. The donor doesn't click a button and leave and go to a CanadaHelps profile or a third-party site. It lives right on there. Conversely, we can look at this page here. This is another beautiful page. But we make a donation here. And it brings us to a link page, and you can feature this beautiful background. So you could see both of these are great options, and you can customize them to look amazing. But a couple of things you want to think about on your website of whether you want to have a button or not. The main thing really is my website, is it optimized for mobile? Do I have a mobile optimized website? So you could pull out your phone and put in your website and see, is it responsive when I look at it from a mobile view? I'm going to show you guys a quick tip, but another thing you can do is just any page you're on your website, if you right-click that page and hit inspect, this may be a little next level, but from here, you're able to show, we can look at this website as if we were on a mobile phone. So in this way, you can check the mobile responsiveness of your website without even using your phone. And then they give you different options, so if you want to see what it looks like. So maybe you just have an iPhone, but you want to see how your website looks with a Galaxy or a Nexus or an iPad. You have the ability to do that by inspecting the page. So just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, so when you're checking this out, you want to know, is my website mobile optimized? If not, the best solution would be to go for that linked form, because our form on its own is mobile optimized. It stretches to the dimension of the phone. Best e-commerce practices to make that a super good experience for your donor coming up to make those donations in the holiday season. So yeah, so that's kind of when you're thinking about am I doing a linked form or an embedded form? But then we have some other things to think about too, and kind of some different ways that you could use these forms. And I'm just going to share a couple just to maybe spark some thinking. The first one that I'm going to talk about is quickly, if you have a campaign. So you have a specific campaign, and here we're going to look at the Okanagan Rail Trail by the Okanagan Foundation. So this is their campaign to turn an old railway track into a trail. They have on their website a Donate Now form. This branding is specific for this campaign. The form is defaulted for this fund, so in their tracking, they're able to see exactly that the donation was made through this form and to this campaign. And they've also included suggested donation amounts that match what the campaign's about. So their donation will fund 1/4 of a meter of trail construction. So everything about this form, everything about this experience is branded for this campaign. So that's one way. Another way, and this one's kind of just on the fly, we were at an event last night for the Walrus Foundation. Just bringing this up here, and basically it was an amazing event. There were 7 speakers talking about social impact. At the end of the night, great evening, they let everyone there know. So thank you for coming. We would really appreciate your support. If you just send an email to donate@thewalrus.ca with your pledge, all of your donations will be matched tonight. So this was for a specific event. They set an autoresponder on that email. So when you sent that email to them, an automatic responder sent you a link to their donation form. So here's their donation form. It just the link brought you right to thewalrus.ca, and the person could make the donation right away. So I think what's really ingenious about this is that they didn't direct you straight to that form, because they knew you're at the event that evening. You're going to be having drinks. You're going to be having a good time. You're going to be eating, enjoying people's company. There's a high chance, even though this is a mobile optimized form, super quick experience, there's a high chance you're not going to do it right then and there. They use that email so it stays in your inbox. And the next day when you wake up after a great day, you can still make that donation, so you don't forget all about it. So I thought that was a really good way. Wanted to share that with you. And then as we come into the holiday season, we spoke a bunch about these, but I wanted to share another way that we can do this, and that is with these charitable gift guides. So again, we've talked a lot about them, but just in short, so as a charity, basically what this means is that you're breaking your outcomes into suggested donation amounts. So we'll just take a look at Mercy Ships here, and they've done a beautiful, beautiful job. So casting materials or restore site. Let's look at, so dental, they know that dental treatment for a young girl or for a young someone in the areas that they're working with costs $50. So tangibly, I know that I can buy this treatment for someone in need for this $50 donation. And you see a whole bunch of different examples here. But this is a guide. And especially coming into holidays, this is something you really want to think about. We have our own charitable gift guide as well on CanadaHelps.org where you could put up these gifts. But if you wanted to do it on your own website, if this looks great to you and something you really want to do, basically all you would have to do in this situation is create a custom donation form. So where we were in the charity account, you would create a custom donation form for each gift. So when I click now on this buy gift for the dental treatment, I'm brought to a custom donation form. It's that $50 for that consistency and the image of that gift. So super easy way, and they haven't embedded the form, but basically so they just take the URL and point that gift directly to that form. So we're going to look back. So super easy way to put together a charitable gift guide, and I'm just going to show the difference here now. So you created your form for any of those purposes, just for your main website, for a special event, maybe for a campaign, or maybe you're creating your charitable gift guide. Whatever it is, now you've decided, okay, I want to embed this form. In order to embed it, all you have to do is click this embed button beside the form of your choice. It generates one line of script. Just copy and paste that into the back end of your website, and the form will populate where you put that. On the other hand, let's say, you know what, I'm going to do a charitable gift guide. I don't want to create a whole bunch of new pages. I could just send them directly to that form. In that case, all I have to do is just click this URL button. It gives me the URL, and in the back end, whenever I have that gift on my website, I can just direct them directly to this custom donation form here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that into our browser, and it brings them right to that form. So it's really that simple. And then just a couple more things to note here. So if you are looking to do a linked form on your website versus embed, we have donate now links. So these are our customized buttons. We have a whole bunch of colors, different kind of looks. Actually, I wouldn't say a whole bunch, but we got a few. So if you click on, let's say I like to look at this first one. I click it, the same deal. It's going to generate these two lines of code for you. You're going to copy and paste that wherever you want it to go. At the same time, if you wanted your own donate button, you didn't want to use the CanadaHelps one, right here, like the St. Matthew's example we used, they're just linking directly to that, the URL of that custom donation form. So they don't have a CanadaHelps button. I click this donate button, it brings me straight to the form. So you have both of those options. And then another thing to look at is we have the Fundraise Now link. Coming into the holidays, this will be a great one as well. So like the Donate Now form, this is a button. Again, you choose the one you want, copy and paste it. When a donor or fundraiser has the idea to maybe celebrate their Christmas party in your honor, or a New Year's party, or whatever it is, they can click on this button. It brings them straight to CanadaHelps, where they can create a crowdfunding page on your behalf. So another thing to look at, and again, it's super easy. You're just going to click on this, select the fund you want them to fundraise for, and it generates this line of code, copy and paste. And then the next thing we're going to talk about, I think you guys probably all been chomping at the bit and getting bored of me, so I'll be happy to pass it over. But firstly, just kind of technically, operationally, to do this with a securities button, and Paul's going to talk all about the security side, but the same way with the button, you're going to click here on the button you like, and then send them directly by copy and pasting this into your website where you want that button to appear. So I'm going to step off for a sec, and I'm going to pass it over to Paul.
How could anybody be bored with our guy Jacob? Hey everybody, Paul Nazareth here. And a really exciting time to be talking about gifts of publicly traded securities. This is the time of year where donors really wake up and plug into this kind of gift. More excitingly so in all of our communities all across Canada, this is also the time of year where donors, advisors in finance and tax wake up and encourage their clients who are giving. And this is, again, a place where you want to be able to say to your donors, you know that thing that you do at the hospital, the university, the big charities in town? We do that too. What we're really doing here as CanadaHelps is we're adding a staff member to your organization. Publicly traded securities are now the #1 way that people give major gifts in Canada. Bottom line, it's the ability of someone who has bought a stock a long time ago, who is going to sell it today and donate that money to you. They owe tax on the difference, and if they donate it in kind, they'll eliminate that tax. They're saving money on the way they give. This program has taken off at large charities across Canada, and this is one of the strongest ways in the last decade that CanadaHelps has empowered our small charities, our partners, to up their game in giving, not just to online donations, but now we take you into the world of major gifts. We keep it really easy for your donors. So as you can see, we've got a simple securities for them. This button that Jacob's talking about is right on your site. They click the button, and again, they're not going to a CanadaHelps where they have choice of other organizations. No, it's you, your charity, and your donor. They fill out the form. They get a letter of authorization, a PDF that they're going to hang on to keep the process simple and moving forward. And from there, we do the rest. The form goes to their broker and our broker. We receive the funds, we receipt the donor, we cash the funds, and we deposit the cash in your account. So because we're doing all the work, this really empowers your organization to continue to do the year-end fundraising that you need to do, but again, add in a major gift partner to your revenue stream. Now, in the past number of years, and again, we've been doing this for a decade, there are more donors using different online trading accounts. CanadaHelps has been keeping up with this in a big way. In fact, now we're actually speaking to and educating all of these different advisor platforms and partners on charitable giving through gifts or securities, which is why we've had a several 100% increase in these types of gifts using CanadaHelps. So not to worry, if your donor uses one of these platforms, our system can work with them to put the information into their platform to facilitate the donation. Same thing with mutual funds and other proprietary packages. We have a broker who does all this for the donor. Now, just so you know, in case the donor asks, CanadaHelps abides by the Canada Revenue Agency and the Canadian Association of Gift Planners best practice for securities receipting. Our receipts are calculated on the receipt for the cost of the security at the end of the day when it's received by our organization. It's not the proceeds of sale, and again, wonderfully so, we help you with your donor. If they have questions, they can talk to CanadaHelps. We have our call center and our team who help them while you're out fundraising. But again, we use the best practice to make sure the donor gets the proper receipt possible, and again, the charity will get the proceeds of sale deposited into their account. It's important to note at this time of year, because everybody goes right into the end of the year in terms of trying to push donations through, but we work with our broker and best practice again across Canada to say what is the last day that we can guarantee a donor that if they start the process, we'll be able to finish it. In 2017, that date is December 16th. Rest assured, we're going all the way up to the 31st. We are trying to process every donation that we can. But when you're talking to donors about processing these, it's best to say until the 16th, that's when we can make sure and guarantee that it'll be done. But I can tell you so many get done at that time. It's important to say, let's get the button up and make sure you communicate to your donors. We do that too. We take gifts of stocks, publicly traded securities, and mutual funds. A note as well, if they ask you about directing, timing, etc., that's not something that we do, and it takes time to transfer all of it, and we can't time securities. Some donors ask that with different types of assets. It's a very straightforward process. So hopefully that definitely helps you expand your revenue stream at the end of the year this time. This is all about helping our charities do more major gifts. Back to Jacob.
Thank you, Paul. I still think I'm probably kind of boring though. Okay, so we got that securities run through. I learned a lot, always learn a lot when I hear Paul speak. especially on that topic. Well, we're going to get back here now. So I'm going to get back to our account here. So we've gone through creating the form, looked at some different applications. And again, if you guys have questions about any of these applications or anything that we're talking about, again, we can't hear you now, but if on your navigation on the right side, you can type any questions you have into there, and we're going to get to them at the end of the presentation. So just a reminder. So we've gone through the custom donate now link, fundraise now link, donate securities. You just heard from Paul. And then the next thing we're going to talk about that's huge during this holiday season is the events platform. We all know there's a whole lot of galas and dinners happening around this time. So we're going to take a look at this platform, going to do a quick walkthrough. And then I'm going to show you some different applications, maybe some ways to help you, again, think outside the box. So here we go. And I think, firstly, to kind of demonstrate what this can do, we're going to look at an event. And this is one that I just helped set up for our friends at the Neighborhood House. Just gone live. This is going to be a great event. And if you're in Toronto in February, I encourage you to go. You'll see me there. But this is our events page, and some things to know for you guys, and kind of the huge value piece here, and you'll see it here. So CanadaHelps here is processing events tickets for you, but this is the only platform where we're actually splitting out the amount that's eligible for a charitable tax receipt. So let's say in the example, so this isn't the case, but let's just say for this ticket, let's say only half of it was eligible for a charitable tax receipt. So $100 ticket, $50 charitable tax receipt. When a donor purchases that ticket, instantly we're going to send them a confirmation for the full amount of that ticket, and then we're also going to send them a $50 tax receipt, charitable tax receipt, right away. So we're splitting that amount out for you. And then you can see it here on top of that. We allow your attendees, if they can't come or if they want to help more, they can add a donation amount within that checkout process. And they're going to also as well get instantly receipted for that amount. So even if your event is non-receivable, they can add a donation receipt in that same transaction. They're going to get a confirmation email and then a full charitable tax receipt for that donation amount. So super value piece for you guys. Just wanted to point your attention to that. Yeah, so let's talk a bit about this event and just the events in general. So you get custom branding. So there's a choice of 10 palettes to look through, and we're going to see in the back end where you find all this stuff. But you got your choice of palettes to choose from, your own custom header image here, the social sharing, which is huge. So right from here, your attendees can share this to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or email to their friends and family or whomever they like to share with. The ability to add different ticket types. So again, here you see a good example. They have an early bird ticket. It's only available until the 15th. And then afterwards, you're going to pay the full price for this regular ticket. So you can put different ticket types. A different way to think about this or to look at this is maybe if you're doing a, again, this isn't holiday, but just to throw this out there, you're doing a charity golf tournament, you can sell a single, a foursome, you can sell also at the same time sponsorships. So do you want a sponsorship for the carts or for the sign up or for a hole? So you're able to offer those different ticket types with different charitable tax breakdowns. Here we have your goal progress, so we have 82 days to buy as well. You can put a goals for the amount of attendees or amount raised for the event. Here we have a Google Maps. So this is showing directly where you can find the event, and then when you're clicking on that, it's bringing you directly to Google Maps itself for you to get directions to the event from wherever you are. So neat little feature. The date from which you can add to your Google Calendar, straight from here as well. Overview of the event, some media for the event details, and then again, here's that attendee wall at the bottom, which you could toggle on or off. So if you have galas coming up, this would be an amazing tool for you to use. We're going to go to the back end and then just talk about a couple other different ways you can do this. So let's look in here. So we already have, I just created this test event, so we can just do a quick walkthrough just so I could show you where everything is when you're creating your event, and just point out a couple of things that you ought to know. So this first page, just your basic information. You can add a call for volunteers, but this is just all your basic information event. You're going to probably want to, in the back end, it's going to show you that your donation has come through as an event ticket purchase or an event donation, but you can create a new fund specifically for this event as well if you wanted to. In the second one here, we're going to have your media library. So the media library is the same one that's consistent across all of the different platforms within CanadaHelps. So if you already have images in there, great, you could use those, and you can add more images and video here. The page visuals tab is where you're going to add that event header image and then draw from that media library to create your media carousel specific to this event. So I would recommend looking at these recommendations for the image size. So we have it's 945 by 320, but again, it says no larger than 5 by 5,000, but I'd probably want to stick within this 945 by 320 to give the best experience. In my experience, that's been the best. Tickets and tax receipts. So we see here that we have three different options. So you can choose to offer no tax receipts for the event at all. And just so you know, in that case, when you do choose no tax receipts, people will still get their tax receipts if they choose to donate. So just a heads up. And then we have instant tax receipts, where you issue the tax receipt as soon as the ticket is purchased, and post-event receipting. And this is another major value play here that you guys take advantage of as a charity. Again, we're built for small and medium-sized charities, and this is something that was super important in that you don't always know the cost of your event from the outset. This gives you the ability to calculate those costs after the fact to determine the charitable amount of each of your ticket types. So you can wait till the next day after the event, 2 weeks after the event, whenever you've got that done, when you're using the post-event tax receipt option, and then whenever you're ready, you just come back in here, right to this section, click a button, generate tax receipts, put the amounts in, generate tax receipts, and then it's going to instantly send those tax receipts out to all of your attendees at that time. We have your ticket sales period, and actually one thing I wanted to note before I go on, once you put your ticket sales live, you cannot change your tax receipt option. So when you're creating your event, make sure that you're selecting the right tax receipt option. Please call in. Our support team is lovely, and they love to help out setting these up, and so would I. So if you're planning on getting one of these up, call in and we can help you. But that's one thing you're just going to want to look for. Before you put your ticket sales live, make sure you're picking the right tax receipt option. And then here at the bottom is where we're going to be able to choose and create tickets. So another feature that I'd want to point out here is that you have the ability to collect additional information from attendees. So aside from the name, first name, email address that you're going to get when they're completing the donation, you can ask them a question. So you can ask them for meal choices, if they want a specific t-shirt size. It's up to you, but you're able to add questions, multiple choice or single response questions. You can fit a couple in at once if you wanted, but that's a super add-on as well, where you can just collect that additional piece of information for the events that require it. And then lastly, and this is great, is the email preferences. So we send out a great confirmation email for those when they purchase the ticket, but this just gives you the ability to add that extra personalization, that extra touch. And we give you two different options here for if it's just a straight purchase or if the order included a donation. So if it included a donation, you know, this just gives you the ability to give that extra thank you for the donor for putting in that extra bit of support for you. And then as well, a different option for your post-event tax receipt. And then this is if someone purchased an email or a ticket for someone other than themselves, this would be the email you would provide for those people. And then you can also set to send out reminders. So 1 day before the event, 7 days before the event. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. And I'm just going to get a drink of water here, guys. Sorry. You can probably hear me golfing. My big gulps. Sorry about that. So we got the nuts and bolts. We know the big value here. And we also know the things we got to look out for when we're creating an event. We looked at this kind of more gala type event. But let's look a little bit outside of the box here, again, to spark your thinking and put your fundraising hat on. Earlier this year, I worked with Kids Eat Smart, a lovely organization out in Newfoundland, and we were able to put together a 50-50 draw through the platform. So if you're making a regular donation through CanadaHelps, currently that's a receipted donation. So you wouldn't be able to do this type of event through a donation form. Just remember, with the events, you're able to set the amount that's eligible for a charitable tax receipt. So here, we were able to sell a ticket, not receipt it. And if you are planning on doing this, I would recommend, yeah, you definitely would have to speak to the lottery and gaming in your province. So they had to do that to set this up. But they sold 50-50 tickets through here. It was very successful. And additionally, so this was for, so they directed people from their website to buy tickets here. They actually also had a separate event. They had a call center, and that one was specifically for them. So it was a different process for either of them, but just different ways that you can use this events platform. And then another one I wanted to point out to you, this is the Diocese of Peterborough, just registration for a marriage prep program. So if you're running courses, this is a great way for you to accept those payments. And then if there's an amount eligible for a charitable tax receipt, you're able to do that right within the flow. It's not an extra task for you. So just another kind of creative way that you can use this events platform, just like those other creative ways that we saw with the custom donation forms. And then just kind of a final note. So for here, you could do this great for a Christmas gala. We talked about the charitable gift guides coming into holiday, and you're always able to put your own kind of custom spin with graphics and colors to each of these platforms for the holiday season or whatever season you're in for the future. But just another thing you might want to think of coming into holiday is kind of, do your donors know how they're going to donate to you? And especially for maybe a church where the office is closed after Christmas coming into the new year. If your donors want to make a gift, are they having to come by and stuff envelopes under your door? Or are you letting them know that, hey, sure, if you want to pay by check, if you want to donate by check, you can do that. If you want to do wire, you can do that. But also, if you want to donate online, we have that option. So you have the custom donation form from a link or embedded right in your website, through your newsletter, through the bulletin at church, letting those donors know that this is available to them coming into the season. And then in your own way, whatever that is, up to your personal preference, keeping in mind everything that we talked about today. How do I provide the easiest and best experience for those donors when they come to the website? So just something to chew on. Yeah, and so I think that's about it for today. I hope you guys are still kicking, and we got some time for questions. And I think Sandra's gonna pass those along to us, and please continue to put them out there. So thanks again, and yeah, let's get the questions in. Okay, I'm gonna take this first one. So we have, what is the fee associated with a CDN form? Does the fee change if you use a link versus embedded form? And that's from Chelsea. Thank you, Sandra. The fee associated with with a CDN form is 3.5% on the donation amount. So there's no setup fee, there's no monthly fee, there's no support fee if you need some help getting that up. The only fee associated with that form is that 3.5% on what's processed. And then you asked if there's a difference between a linked form and an embedded form. Nope, so they'd be the exact same, that 3.5%. The next question here was for an event ticket, will our logo show on the receipt? Yeah, so within that events module in the back, in the tickets section, there's a place where you can upload the logo that you wanted to appear there. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the logo that's in your charity account. If you had a funky logo specific to that event, you could upload that. It's up to you. For that event ticket, you have control of that receipting process, so it's up to you what logo you'd want to use. The next question we have is for events again. So is there a fee added to the ticket price? So no, there would be no fee added. There would just be the fee associated with the platform. So like any other platform on CanadaHelps, you would be, as a charity, you would be receiving the net amount of the donation, or in this case, the event ticket purchase. So you would receive that, that net amount. So if you did want to build that into the price of your ticket, a lot of charities are doing that. So you can add on your $50 ticket, you could add that extra, $2, $3 to make up for the fee. You have another question?
I do have one more question. This one comes in from Kathleen, and it's about securities. Can the option of gifting securities be added to our customizable donation form?
Well, it's not exactly in the form, but that's a great question. We have two ways that we see charities doing this a lot. And the first way is where they embed the form. They have right above the form a bit of a ways to give, saying if you wanted to, because every form has the ability to do one time and monthly, but they put the securities button right on top of the form so that it's on that page. That being said, the best strategy to do this is to have a donate button top right of your home page going to the CDN form, but also have a ways to give in your options of get involved or something like that. And ways to give you want to have on that page: donate one time, donate monthly, and actually one of the biggest areas on CanadaHelps that people are giving is give in tribute or memorial. Memorial giving fastly growing in Canada. And remember, you can upload your custom donation, your custom e-cards for that. One-time monthly tribute, and then that's where the securities button goes. But the one thing about securities is, especially for our smaller charities around Canada, the challenge is if the donor doesn't know about it, that you process it, they're not going to necessarily go looking for it. So you want to get that securities button up as soon as possible. And again, it takes minutes. You can do that today after this webinar. But then you want to be making sure that you're talking to your donors about it. And again, nothing too aggressive, campaigns, etc. Just making sure you include it in your year-end newsletters or email blasts, etc. If you are giving to us, again, if you're giving to us, please consider this method as well, because they do it with other charities, and they would love to do it with you. They just need to know that you do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul, for that answer. We do have one more question here that came in from Kathy, and I think this one, Jacob's going to handle this one. So for special events tickets, for example, having 4 people for golf, is there a facility for collecting names and or contact info for all 4 players?
Yeah, so thanks, Kathy. So 100%. So we went through it quickly. So in that ticket section of the event page, when you're setting up, for each individual ticket, you're able to add custom questions there. So I guess there's 2 ways you can do it. So that would be the first way, and you can just in there you could say what are the names of your of the others in your foursome, and or what are their names and email addresses, or their names and phone numbers, or all of the above. The other way you can do it would be to split it into the 4 tickets. and in that case, you would have to put the individual, each individual's name and email address in there, and then in that case, we would automatically send the tickets for the event to each of those 4 people. So you could do it 2 different ways, but you can definitely 100% collect that information. Okay.
Just taking a quick look here. Doesn't look like we have any more questions that came in. Again, if you do have any questions or comments, you can definitely get in touch with us. Paul and Jacob's contact information is on the screen. We also have our Twitter at CharityLifeCA, so don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions at all. I think we're just going to wrap this up. So thank you to both Jacob and Paul for the wonderful demo today, and I see a few comments coming in saying thank you so much for the tips. It was very inspiring. I agree. And as always, thank you to our attendees today for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here for you guys. Have a great day, everyone.